Welcome to the Art of Japanese Green Tea.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Griff. And today we're going to show you Genmaicha, a Japanese green tea that is mixed with brown rice.
So a Genmaicha, it's usually lower quality sencha or bancha, and then they add the brown rice to it to give it that flavor, I guess. But originally it was made for like the poor in Japan to drink, because with the rice it's like way cheaper than drinking straight sencha.
Yeah, so it just stretches it out.
Yeah, it was just originally just like to stretch out their tea, but it turned out to be kind of good, and so now these days pretty much everyone drinks it.
Yeah.
That would drink normal tea.
Yeah. Yeah, so and so usually Genmaicha is mixed with either a low quality sencha or bancha. Bancha being the second flush or second harvest of sencha. There's another thing that sometimes is added, which is matcha, and if matcha is added, that's called matcha iri Genmaicha. So yeah, and one of the main I guess nicknames or sign for it is popcorn tea, because some of the rice through
When they pan fire.
Yeah, when they roast it, it kind of almost looks like popcorn. Anyway, so this specifically is matcha iri Genmaicha, and I believe it's with sencha rather than bancha.
Shall we brew some of that up?
Sure.
So for this, we're going to be using 1.3 grams, sorry, for 50 milliliters.
And this number is kind of tricky if you're just trying to measure based on the spoon size, because the brown rice is heavier than leaves. So you need to add a bit more than you'd be expecting. Or sorry, you would need to add a bit more than you're expecting with if you're going by the numbers, but by the amount in your spoon, it actually doesn't change that much.
So how many scoops will it take?
Well, for our proportions, we're going to go with about 2 scoops.
Okay. So we'll brew it pretty much the same way as sencha.
It's like hotter.
I was getting to that, except for it's brewed longer and hotter. So it's gonna be for about 1.5 to 2 minutes for the first infusion, and we're brewing it at like 85 or something, around there.
85 Celsius,
yeah,
which works to actually 185 Fahrenheit.
Pretty nifty.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool way to... It's like with negative temperatures. I think like minus 43 Celsius and Fahrenheit is the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I guess at some point they would have to.
Well, yeah, because it's like smaller increments.
Yeah.
And 0 for Celsius would be 30 in Fahrenheit, so...
Wait.
Anyway.
So, yeah, we'll brew that up.
Now, one thing to keep in mind with Genmaicha is it has a fairly unique flavor. And if you're accustomed to using a unglazed teapot, or kyusu as it's known, you would probably want to have either some kind of glazed teapot on the inside, because as you might know, the clay can absorb a bit of the flavor, and you probably don't want the flavor of the rice to be infused in your everyday teapot that you'd also have like other sencha in.
Hence why we're using this teapot.
Yeah, this is a nice unglazed. Is this your
first teapot? Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Should probably face the little mic goes towards the camera.
Also with Genmaicha, if you're not using the matcha kind, it will be more like a yellowish color.
Yeah. Yeah, like still a kind of green, but yellow green. And then of course with the matcha.
The matcha just overpowers. Yeah, it's green as hell.
Yeah. But yeah, and the matcha adds a bit more of a bold flavor to the tea. It just kind of rounds it off a little nicer. I guess it's kind of counterproductive though, because the point of Genmaicha is to make it cheaper, and if you put matcha, one of the more expensive things,
the original people making Genmaicha to save money were not putting matcha in it, for the record.
Yeah. And yeah, so we said first infusion is about 1.5 to 2 minutes. This one in particular will be 1.5 minutes. Okay. So it's a few things that'd be kind of interesting to note. So I don't know if this is like an official thing. Well, of course, it's an official, but one thing we've heard a lot is that Genmaicha it complements the taste of sushi really well.
They were serving it at the sushi restaurant today. I mean,
I don't know if they were serving that. I think they were serving they should have been serving it at the sushi restaurant today.
Yeah.
But that's usually a lower quality tea.
I think it might have been, but it was lower quality.
It was definitely lower.
There was no matcha in it.
It was probably from a tea bag, but whatever. But either way, yeah. It's something that typically goes very well with sushi.
We have it now to complement our sushi.
Yeah, we had to went out for lunch, went to sushi, and filled ourselves up pretty. Well, we always do that. I don't know if this is like a thing that is standard, but there's something called salmon roses. And today we ordered 40 of them, and they're like 14?
No, 40. 40? Yes.
Yeah.
40.
So
it's fun. They don't I don't know.
It's all you can eat.
They seem to try and avoid our table a lot there.
They did come back for like a long time afterwards.
It seems longer because we ate it in like 13 minutes.
13 minutes. We timed it. But anyway, so yeah, so as we mentioned before, just pouring this out, I try to pour about 1/3 into this one, about 2/3 into this one, the last third, and then get the last few drops out. And right, something that's interesting that we found out on our forum is, so I believe we've mentioned in the past that when you're done, you want to, well, you just set off the lid. But the other thing is you want to pat the back of your Kyusu to get the leaves off of the front of the wall. And one of the reasons why you would leave it sort of open is because you don't want like the leaves to continue to infuse and cook. But that the action of hitting it and getting the leaves off the front wall also helps with that, like preventing that sort of cooking thing. So,
you know one thing I noticed about Genmaicha?
But
pretty much like everyone who doesn't actually drink Japanese green tea will like Genmaicha the first time. If you, I don't know, like a lot of people that I've tried to share like YM or Miyabi or someone with, they're like, this isn't like weird and I don't know, and grassy and stuff. But usually Genmaicha, they're like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I found that with Hojicha too.
Yeah.
seems like a lot more accessible to I guess people who are more like have a North American or European, which is probably both different, but when it comes to tea, like palate for taste. Yeah, no. Cool. So yeah, so this video was on our forum. We had a little poll, and it was, you know, choose the next video we do, and it came out to Genmaicha was the one that prevailed. And yeah, so another thing about our website and forum that is cool is we now have that redirect.
aj-gt.com.
Yep. So we can just go to aj-gt.com. It's like, I think the art of Japanese green tea.com was easy enough to remember, but it's pretty long.
Yeah.
So to save yourself some carpal tunnel, and so we shortened it to aj-gt.com, and that just redirects you to the main site. Just think of it as like shorthand for getting to the actual website, so that's pretty cool. And we encourage you to join our forum and to also check us out on Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff. Get social. Yeah, Facebook and the forum would probably be really good if you wanna.
Especially the forum.
Especially
Mostly
the
the forum.
Yeah, that's where the party's at. But yeah, to keep up to date with us. All right, so that is a overview and a little background to Genmaicha.
Welcome to the art of Japanese.
Welcome to the art of Japanese green tea. Again. We already said that, so we don't need to say it again. But anyway, so now we're going to talk about water quality.
So yeah, for Japanese green tea, you want to have good quality water, because, you know, bad quality water means you're going to end up with bad quality tea.
And it seems like pretty, you know, intuitive. A lot of Japanese teas that I think we're all like getting are pretty high quality stuff. So you wouldn't necessarily want to have a lower quality tea, right? Or lower quality water.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So, like, we usually just use a Brita, like one of those jug ones that you keep in your fridge.
Yeah.
But other options are like one of those reverse osmosis things that you put under the sink.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
You want to reduce the amount of ppm or whatever.
Yeah. Parts per million. So like how much particles are in the water. And I guess it's sort of like there's two theories about it. One is like, you know, you want to have just a few, like, you know, have some minerals in it, but not too many. The other one is a lot of people like to use mineral water for their tea. I don't think we'd personally recommend it, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't think distilled water really works that well either.
No.
Like, I think there's a balance that you have to find.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't use tap water or something, because that's not even about that at that point. Like, it's just, you know what you're drinking and it sucks.
Yeah. 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 So, you know, you want to get high quality tea requires high quality water, and I guess that should be pretty straightforward. But another thing is how you're boiling your water too can be kind of important.
Mm-hmm. So I think that we found typically the best is to boil it all the way to boiling and then let it cool back down to the temperature you need it at.
Yeah. And yeah, some people like to boil it up to like, say, 80 degrees Celsius. But you want to go all the way and back. And it can be really important to what you're using. I think for the most part, generally what's most widely accepted would be either a glass kettle
Or
a Zoji, which is a brand hot water dispenser, or a stainless steel kettle.
Mm.
You want to avoid plastics,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Plastic, or like, well, I don't know if there's anything inherently wrong with those stovetop kind, but I just hate them.
Yeah, I mean, like, a stovetop kind is pretty cool, but it takes a while. I don't know.
I don't have patience or the... Yeah. I don't know.
He's all about patience.
I know, but it's loud and it's...
Screams at you when
turn
it's...
on the burner and instead of just pressing a button or not either.
Or not, yeah. Yeah.
I like my Zoji.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah, we both have Zojis, which is this kind of hot water. Mine's a little different, but both hot water dispensers, and it's kind of a debate too whether you should really use one because the water stays hot, and the worry is if you lose oxygen from it. But
if you're worried about it, you can change the water.
That's true. That's like
dump
like
it out.
well, not just that. You find some of these things, and it's like, why do they only hold like 2 or 3 liters of water? Like, I want something really big. Well, the reason why it only holds a bit is so the water goes through it really quickly. Mm-hmm. So, like, I mean, if you drink tea multiple times a day, 2-3 liters is all you need, and it's going to go through it. So that's kind of the defense for that.
It's not that hard to fill anyway. I guess that's
sums it up pretty much. So,
yeah.
Yeah, check out our forum, check out our Facebook, check out our website, and we will